I hope my voice is audible properly.
Yeah.
Perfect. So after discussing all those prerequisites for this course, I think you all have understood that what kind of uh, strategy we'll be following, and no one will call me sir. So I hope you will remember all those things, whatever we discussed, all these things yesterday, right? So all those things I hope you will remember. And with that being said, I think we should start. So this will be actually day one. Yesterday's will not be day one. I don't know who is Oxploit. Who is it? You change the name. Yesterday you were there. Hello. Yasin sir. Okay, fine. Great. Anita is there today. Hello Anita. Yesterday you were not there, I feel. Most.
Yes, yes, I had some work.
Okay. So I think we should start with this thing itself, right? Yesterday we had almost started. Okay. So what is a language? I think some people told yesterday, right? So we are into this, starting into this complete Python bootcamp. Today will be the day one. We'll be going on till 30 days, and we'll start with first very common word which you already use in your day-to-day life, right? What is actually a language? So I think someone, Aditya or someone yesterday, you had told me that language is basically a medium for communication. Some people told also that it is used to exchange thoughts. It is used to basically tell other people what is going inside your head. So just think like this. Without a language, how you can tell other person also what is going inside your head? It's damn that much so simple, right? So one of the question would be like, why do you want to tell what is going inside your head? You would have just sat quite keeping it with yourself, right? So the way, why do you want to actually tell others is because maybe you want to do and take some work from others, you want to tell them, you want to guide them, you want to basically maybe ask them for some kind of help or whatever. But usually it will be maybe you want to tell them some kind of work, you want to assign them some kind of work or whatever. So the whole point is that we have we there is no need to understand, we actually know what is the language. Because of language itself I am able to deliver something to you all, and you all are able to understand it also. So here very important thing is what I am saying to you, that also you should understand it. Okay, so if you are not understanding it, then we don't have a common language in between. Maybe you know something else, I know something else, I am speaking in some other language, you are listening in some other language. So I hope you all will agree, language is basically used for transferring any information and all. And most important thing in language what is to be understood is that both the people, the sender and the receiver, both is who is speaking, those both the people should be having a common language. Okay, so it will not work if you know Chinese and I know English. It's not going to help. Okay, so I hope you got the point what I'm trying to say. So we are starting with not actually what is a programming languages. So we'll take programming afterwards, but just discussing about what is language first. So this is actually the first day, right? Even so, first what we are discussing is actually what is a language. Okay, so you already know it, and very important point that has to be remembered inside a language is that both people should know a common language. I am sorry if you are not understanding my handwriting, so it will be like this itself. Both people should know common language. So it will not work. I repeat, it will not work if you know some other language and if I know some other language. We both will go mad. Okay, I'll be telling you something, you will never understand it. You will tell me something which I am not going to understand, which may cause to lots of misunderstandings. Okay, so we should have a common language through which we can communicate also. Okay, so that brings to the next point. Then what is actually a programming language? If we know what is a language, then what is actually a programming language? And I think we already discussed, right? Why do you need a language? So we'll be always, now you will notice in this whole 30 days, you will be always asking these few questions. First of all, what it is. If you want to learn something, variables also, what it is actually, what is a variable? You will be asking, why do you actually need it? Okay, what's the need for that variable? Next, you will be answering how to do it. Okay, so you will be answering these 3 questions lot many times. You will see it throughout 30 days. What, why, very important question, and how. Okay, so these 3 questions will be going on every time. So we have also discussed why actually we need a language. We need a language because we want to communicate. Like we spoke about that thing, right? So that's very simple, nothing much very obvious inside that one, right? So that basically takes you to the next point, that is what is actually a programming language then. So yesterday we have discussed, we are not going to sit quiet like this. We are going to have discussion, and through that itself we are going to learn something, right? So I hope you have not forgotten that, and you will basically speak. So what is programming language according to you then? Let's forget about programming language. What is a program according to you? How much I want to just know your understanding. What is actually a program?
Set of instructions.
Set of instructions which is
कहाँ से
given to
सीखा?
computer to perform
Lines
where-
of code.
the task.
From where did you learn this set of instructions?
The
College?
language with computer understand.
Okay, so some nice answers. Lines of code, set of instructions, language which computer understands, all are right. Okay, there is no one who is wrong here, everything is right. Okay, so again one thing, what we will be doing is we will try to boil it to very basic. Like let's assume that we are not engineering students. Let's go that we are from maybe 12th standard, 10th standard students, and try to understand it. If we could have understood, or what if we were 10th standard students. So that much simple will try to make every concept also, so that you understand the logic behind it, actually what it is. Okay, not for the sake of just telling someone. I repeat this again one time, you should not be okay, Whitehead Junior, let's not talk about Whitehead Junior, I feel, because there are lots of controversies which we can speak about Whitehead Junior some other day. But what's important is that for you to understand is that we are just not going to learn something because we want to tell someone. That if someone asks me what is a server, or if someone asks me what is class, so class is basically a set of set of attributes and behaviors. What is an object? Object is basically an instance of a class. All these kind of definitions, right, which you only don't know what is the meaning of that. Okay, but you know to answer it. Such kind of work we will not be doing it here. Okay, we will be only first of all answering those questions which we know. And when I am saying something from my mouth, most important thing, I must have understanding of that. I must know what I am saying. Okay, मतलब ऐसे ही कुछ भी उसका meaning पता नहीं, you don't know the meaning of that, but you are just saying for the sake of saying. That should not happen. Okay, so that should not happen ever. So whatever you are learning from here, also make sure if you don't understand also something, ask, but make sure that you get it cleared completely. You should know the understanding of it, or you should know the concept behind it, not only the definition part. Okay, so what you told is completely right. A program is basically a set of instructions. So I like this always idea of asking questions. Okay, so you will find me asking tons of questions every time. If someone is not comfortable in answering, like maybe they are traveling and all those kind of stuff, you can tell. Okay, so that I don't point out your name and all, because maybe you're traveling, you will not be able to answer and all. So that's completely okay. That's completely fine. Why do we actually want to give set of instructions to computer then? If a program is basically a set of instructions, so there are lots of questions which are coming inside my mind. Why should I learn? Why should I learn to give some set of instructions to the computer? Can anyone answer this one? Pin drop silence, huh? I think yesterday also 2-3 times such thing had happened. Okay, you are right, Snehal, to make our work easier. Oh, I think you said that itself, to make our work easier, to make our work done. Okay, fine. Again, anyone else who wants to say something? Yes, she is completely right, to make our work done. So I think she means to say that there might be some works which we cannot do, and she wants the computer to do that work. Okay, so it's just like saying some work which you will not do, we boys will not do. Mom, for example, mostly, not, I'm not talking everyone's, but mostly the mom cooks the food for us and we basically eat. So such kind of work which we don't want to do, or maybe we can't do, that they are giving it to someone else, so that someone else will do it for you. Okay, so same thing, like company hires you because maybe they'll give you salary in return, but they want to do and take some work from you. So the whole point is that we humans, we humans have this amazing characteristics, that is curiosity. Okay, we don't like to do the same repeated task again and again. We are actually fed up of doing the repeated task again and again. Okay, so we like to build machines which do the same task again and again. For example, maybe building a floor cleaning robot, building basically a machine which basically cuts woods. So what we are trying to actually do as humans is, we are trying to build systems which can work more faster, which can perform more efficiently than we humans can. Simple words, if you want to understand. Okay, see from whole history you go and search, you will try to always see this thing, that we are always trying to do something which should reduce our time. Okay, so we must be able to do the same work in much more faster way. This is what we are doing. Every time doing something, we have created so many things. We basically created computers, we created, I'll say, when I say we, I basically not mean to say I, we means whole everyone that is there in this world. Okay, so we tried to basically create rockets, we tried to create so many other ships so that we can travel, we tried to create planes. Why we are trying to do it? Maybe because we want to do certain things in more efficient way or in more better way. We want to save time for those purposes, right? So here also same concepts came, right? Computers also are one of the most amazing inventions of man, where we are trying to, why do we actually need a computer? So that what task we cannot do, right? Or we can do it maybe, but it may take more longer time for us to do that task. We want to give it to someone else so that it can do it for us, and so that we can save our time, because right, we all are limited on this earth, so we don't know when will be our last day. So we want to do and take some other works from computers, from not only from computers but from robots, but from other people and all, so that you save your time and all. So same thing here also happens. Computers came into picture only because of this purpose. What things we cannot do, or what things might take a long time for us to do, those things we are asking this guy, with help of which you are attending this meeting, to do, so that it will do it in more better way, more faster way. It will help you for lots of other activities, it will save your time and all those kind of stuff. Okay, even your mobile phone is like a computer. So if we have understood that it is one of the man's biggest invention, and it will help us for lots of activities. Your mobile phone itself you take, right, so many things are there inside this. It will help you for lots of things, right? From messaging, emailing, WhatsApping, watching YouTube videos, playing games, calling, like I can tell you endless possibilities of what it can do, right? Your mobile phone is like also a computer. So such advantage, such tremendous power is there inside your hands. Now, don't you feel that there should be someone who must have created this? When I say we, there is someone who is inside this world itself who has created this. It's not someone who has an alien came from outside the earth and he invented the mobile phone and all the computers and all, and he went back. It did not happen, right? So some of the from our community itself try to create this, right? So what I am trying to say is, when there is so much huge demand in computers, there comes one more demand, that is of those people who can teach computers what to do. Okay, so what they told, when I asked them what is a programming language, they basically told me that it's sets of instructions which we are giving to the computer, right? So the same thing what I am trying to tell you is, any computer is there, we want to basically do and take some task from that computer. So there is a way to tell computer this thing, okay, that I want to do and take some work from you, okay. So it's damn simple. There's a computer in front of me and I want to do and take some work from it. So obviously there should be a way, right, to speak with that computer, because if I want to do and take some work from human being, I will have to go and speak with that human being. Similarly here also, if I want to do and take some work from my computer, I will obviously have to speak with my computer and ask him, hey, go and basically call this guy, maybe do this thing, do that thing, whatever it is, you will have to basically tell the computer to do something so that the computer will do, correct? So here comes an interesting point. If we want to basically ask the computer to do something, we will have to know the language which computer understands. Will you agree with me?
Yes.
Obviously, right. If I want to do and take, let's see, if I want Aditi to do some work, okay, so I must understand the language which Aditi also understands. If I speak in Japanese and Aditi understands in Kannada, English, Marathi, Hindi, how will she understand what work I'm talking about, right? So in computers also, if you do want to take some work from the computer, why do you want to do and take some work from computer? Obviously because it has so much enormous amount of powers. I told you, right, it can do so much amount of things, so much processing power is there, it can perform so much mathematical calculation so much faster. All this power is there in your small device, chota wala mobile phone itself, right? So that power you want to utilize, right? Imagine if you get a power that you can tell computer do whatever you want, and whatever you want. When I say whatever you want, you can do lots of things, like you might automate your, wherever in softwares you type those username and passwords, right, you can automate that process. You can automate your WhatsApp messages. Good morning messages should be sent maybe at specific intervals for some people. If you are in some relationships and all, maybe you want to send some codes or whatever at specific intervals, all those kind of stuff. Like there are lots of fun stuff which you can do. Maybe you want to create some designs, maybe you want to create some mobile application, maybe you want to create some software. Tons of things are there which you can do, okay. So all these processes which you can do and take from the computer, right, if you want to do and take it from your computer which you have in with which you are sitting here, so obviously you will have to understand a language which computers also understands. Damn simple, okay, a language which computers also understands. Now I'll give you some numbers to remember, okay, and I want you all to remember these numbers, okay. So is there anyone who can remember these numbers for me? Any genius is there? I am not, okay, so I don't remember, so but anyone, can you remember these numbers? And if I ask you tomorrow, you will be able to tell it. Now don't tell I'll go and buy these numbers today and I'll keep on repeating it for a number of times so that you remember it. These were only 2 numbers which I gave. Imagine if I give you some 100 numbers, will you remember? Those numbers are easy to remember for human beings or difficult? Easy. Snail says impossible. For me also, Snail, it's impossible. Even I cannot do it. You tell me to remember. So the point is, will you agree that human beings, I think, can remember words much more better way than numbers? It's damn simple, right? If I tell you to remember a word, maybe hello, you might remember the word much more better way than if I tell you some binary characteristics of that hello word, some numbers for that, okay. So what I want to tell you is, we humans are basically remembers words much more better way than numbers. Simple, damn simple, okay. So what I am trying to tell you is, here we were to that point, right? We have to communicate with the computer. Why we want to communicate with computer? Because we want to do and take some work from the computer. What work you want to do and take from computer will be all the projects which we'll be doing for all this 30 days, okay. You will be doing lots of stuff, lots of work which you can do and take from computer, okay. So we want to understand what computer, we want to learn a language which computer understands. So do you all know which language computer understands? Anyone knows a language which computer understands? I don't know. So lots
Binary.
of things I'll be
Binary.
assuming I don't know. Snail knows it. Okay, binary.
Binary.
So, so most people are saying binary. Okay, so I'll be assuming lots of things which I don't know, so that you understand. If you don't know something also, how do you figure it out with the help of internet? Okay, this is very important skill, because you must have watched lots of YouTube videos, courses, and what you do, I'll tell you. Okay, however the person is programming, right, however the person is writing the code, even you keep your hands on your laptop keyboard and start tick 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 tick. You start doing this as how he is doing that way. Exact cut copy paste code you will be starting writing in your laptop also. That is what I don't want here to happen. So I'll be assuming lots of things which I don't know, so we will be searching on the internet together. Okay, if we don't know, how do we actually learn it, or how do we actually basically go and search for it? That also we'll see. Learning how to learn. Okay, so some people told, so they already know that computer understands binary language itself. So let me check also once on the internet which language does computer understands. Computer understands machine language. So other name of machine language they have told here, that is the computer only understands binary code, that is 0 and 1. Oh, sounds little bit for you all it might be already nothing new to it. You already know that computer understands binary language, because I was not knowing. So I got to know that computer basically understands something which is called as binary. Okay, this is what computer understands. Computer understand binary language, that is nothing but 0 and 1, or 0 or 1, whatever. Okay, so can you just tell me that this is in which language it is written here? Will you agree? There is nothing different here, because here only 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 and everywhere 0 1 is there, no other digit is there apart from 0 and 1. So obviously that means that this whatever is written here must be in a language which is called as binary, but I don't know what is the meaning of this. Okay, so you and I might be not knowing what is the meaning of this, but we know that this is might be some binary program or binary code that computer might understand, but I might not understand. Correct, right? Nothing much difficult till here. So computer understands binary. So should we learn binary? Next question would be obviously, should we start learning binary?
Yes.
Who said yes? Who said yes? Come on, like we can just have a chat. Who said yes? Snail says no. Snail, why no? Computer understands binary, no, but and
We can't remember that much line.
Okay, you can't remember numbers because binary is numbers, no? We saw that binary, whole language
Yes.
binary is consisting of two numbers 0 and 1, 0 and 1. So we are genius people, we cannot remember numbers. So very difficult one, hard to remember numbers. But someone told, might be Yasin itself who told that yes, we'll learn binary. So even I'll go to classes near Yasin, even you all come. Yasin will teach binary for us, okay? And we will speak with computer in binary language itself then. So jokes apart, we will be not learning binary because you know it will be a good headache. It will be really big headache if you think of learning binary language and telling computer what to do, okay? So we'll not be doing that. So the other option that is basically available is that if you basically can't learn binary, okay, so I'll say that you can't learn binary, right? So you can't learn binary, so you can learn basically a language. So we already discussed, right? We humans understand words. We humans understand what? Words. Simple words we understand. understand, right? So if we are understanding word, obviously there are very smarter humans which must have created a language which uses English words. Okay, so those languages which uses English words, right, are called as high level languages. So obviously there must be someone, right? There must be someone in this whole world. So intelligent people are there. So obviously there must be someone who must have created a language which is made up of English words, which is made up of all those English words, and that languages are basically called as high level languages, which basically humans can understand. Okay, so these languages which are there, humans can understand it. Okay, but computer understands binary code. Binary code is basically understood by computers. So what's the problem here now? Point out the problem or the issues that are there till now, whatever we have learnt. What is the problem here now?
We need interpreter.
We need interpreter. Okay. Again someone? What is the problem here right now? I don't know what is
Computer
interpreter.
does not understand high level.
Yeah, exactly. The problem here is that computer does not understand high level language. No, it is just like saying that I want to speak something with maybe Snail, okay, and she understands English and I am speaking in Japanese, okay. Will Snail you understand whatever I am saying if I speak in Japanese?
No.
No, obviously you will not understand. So can I do and take some work from you? Can I tell you to do this work and you will do and come that work?
No.
No, that's common sense, right? I think that's complete common sense that it will not happen, right? So in case of computers also it is not going to happen. You are learning some high level language. What is high level language we'll see afterwards, but you are learning some high level language which uses English words, very important. And computer understands only binary code, that is 0 and 1. So there is a big problem here. So in case Snail, let's say I am a Japanese person, I speak only Japanese, you are English person, you speak only English, and but still I want to speak with you. What should I do, Snail, then? Still I want to speak with you, but I don't know English, I know only Japanese, you know only English, but still I want to speak with you because I want to do and take some work from you. What should I do?
Use
We
interpreter.
need someone who communicates my language in code in your language and your language in my language,
Completely
like
right.
interpreter or compiler.
Completely. So those jargons what are there, we'll come back to that. What Yasin said is also correctly right. We need interpreter, we need compiler. So those jargons, what is interpreter, what is compiler? Nothing but you need a translator in between. Simple words if you want to understand, right? So those are technical words which are given by computer scientists to a translator. But what in basic terms, what Yasin and Snail wants to say is, we do need a translator in between who can translate my Japanese to English for Snail and her English to Japanese for me. Okay, that's how simple it is. So I hope we understood first of all what is a language, then what is a programming language. Programming language is basically a language that is basically used to communicate with computers, and English language, Marathi, English, Hindi, Kannada, all these languages are basically the languages which are used to communicate with humans. So same way, if you want to communicate with any human being, you will learn the language which that human being know. Similarly, if you want to communicate with computer, if you want to speak with computer, why do you want to speak with computer? Because you want to do and take some work from that computer. You will obviously have to know a language which computer understands. But computer understands binary language, and we don't remember binary codes or numbers, very difficult for us to remember. So here someone comes in between. They invented something called as high level languages which uses English words. Very simple, we understand English words now, but still there is a problem, that is computer understands binary language. So there comes, this is a high level language, and computer understands binary language. Still there is a problem in between, that is there is no translator in between. So here comes a big translator in between, and this will work vice versa. Okay, so here this person who is sitting in between is called as translator. Okay, and the translator will translate the language for us. Okay, so this translator, what sits in between, right, in technical terms, in computers terms, they are called as compilers. Nothing but translator, same. For example, here in our languages, it could be a Google Translator. Okay, so for us, if you want to translate the languages for human beings, you can use a Google Translator. If you want to basically use in computers, you would rather use a compiler, or you would rather use a interpreter. What is the difference between these two? We'll see. Okay, but you would use these two jargons, very important words, like interpreter or compiler. Okay, what those are, what is the difference between that two, we'll see, but we should understand what is the need for that. You got my point, what I'm trying to say till now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Others have slept. There are so many people who are, only Snail is there, Yasin is there, others blank. Aditi came into picture, Ashwini came into picture, Prakash came into picture now. Gunjan is there. Fine. So you don't want to open your mic and speak, so you're messaging. Fine. Like however you are feeling comfortable with. But I think we have a good understanding now. Like समझ में आता है अभी कि हमको सीखना था बाइनरी, हम नहीं सीख सकते थे because it is difficult for us to learn. So we are going to learn some high level language, which is what we'll see. But there should be a translator in between who will translate it to binary, and binary will be translated back to the high level language with the help of this intermediator who is sitting in between, which is called as compiler or interpreter. As simple as that. Now I'll tell you something, okay? So because we have learned programming languages, right? So let me tell you a few things. We have learned what are programming languages, right? So let me tell you also types of programming languages that are available. Types of programming languages. As simple, I told you, I'm sorry for my handwriting, it's not that good. So the first type of programming language that is available to you, can anyone tell me? Types of programming languages?
High level, low level, mid level.
Okay, so we have high level language, which we already saw right now. High level language, we have low level language, we have mid level language. Okay, or we can also consider like this. Okay, we have high level language, we have assembly language in between, assembly language, we also have the language which you studied, which is binary language. Okay, and the person who converts high level language to binary language, this person is called as compiler or interpreter. You already know it, right? So the person who converts assembly language to binary language is called as assembler. Okay, very simple. The person who converts the person who converts high level language to binary language is called as compiler or interpreter, and the person who converts assembly language to binary language is called as assembler. As simple as that. Okay, so we'll see some examples of these particular languages. Okay, assembly in itself is a language, okay, so which uses like some addresses, memory addresses and all to store and all. Okay, that's not important right now. We'll see just some examples. You already know the low level language, right? Low level language basically means the binary language. Okay, so it is also called as low level language, machine language or binary language, one and the same. Even if they say machine language, low level language, binary language, all basically means one and the same. Okay, so some of the examples for high level programming languages, is like Java, we have Python, okay, we have other languages also like PHP, all those kind of programming languages which are there, which are available to you. C# is there, very popular, another popular language. Swift is there, Dart is there. So there are so many. JavaScript is there, okay, very popular ones. Okay, so most of the popular languages which you basically find, right, these are some of the examples that are available for high level language. High level language. Okay, there are lots of examples again out there, but some of the examples for high level language. Okay, so assembly in itself is a language, I am telling you. Okay, so assembly in itself, that is itself the language, assembly language. So there are mid-level programming languages also, like mid-level programming languages in the sense C is there, C++ is there. These are some of the mid-level programming languages which are available. These languages, if you see, right now, I have a question for you. Okay, for now let's understand that there is high-level programming languages which is like JavaScript, like C#, like Python, Java, PHP, all those kind of stuff and all. And there are some mid-level programming languages also, like C is there, C++ is there. These are some mid-level programming languages. Now my question is, which language might be faster? What you feel? Java might be faster or C might be faster?
C is faster than Java
Why?
because Java code is compiled into the another form and then it will be going to the assembly or binary form. But C is directly converting it into a binary format.
Exactly. What he told no is completely 100% right. Just notice here. Okay. What we did here, right? See here itself. Okay. We have a high level language. This high level language, and in between that there is also a mid level language. Okay, mid level language, and inside after that there is a low level language. Okay, that is nothing but the 0 and 1, the binary language here. Okay, so for this to convert, high level language to be converted to basically from here till here, it will basically take some time. Okay, but a mid level language is almost half converted into binary. So it's like almost 50% binary converted, because the program what is written in mid level language is not that higher, which as it is basically written in these languages. Okay, like Java and all. So obviously a mid level language will perform more faster if you want to test its speed. Okay, then it will be way faster than the high level languages. High level languages will perform little bit slower. Doesn't mean that this language is slower, this language is faster. I don't mean to say like that, but when you compare its speed, obviously it will be faster, because this is a mid level programming language and this is a high level programming language, so it will be little bit slower. That's one more important point to basically understand here. So this is just a general classification of types of language. Like we have high level language, mid level or low level, or you can also say high level is there, assembly is there, assembly language is there, and low level language is there. Okay, so this is just a general classification. But if you see again the classification of high level languages, high level language can be further classified into again two types. One is called as object oriented language. Sorry, so it is actually called as object oriented language, and another one is basically called as procedural language. Okay, so actually what is the meaning of object oriented language? We'll see the beauty of this language. Okay, when you see the features of object oriented programming, you will be shocked to see how beautiful is that. Okay, so it's just like saying that the whole programming languages which are available, we know that machine understands which language, and these are the different types of languages that are available. And the high level language can be further again broader classified into two types. One is procedural language as well as the object oriented language. What exactly is object oriented language? It will not go in sense right now, but we will go to a point where we will study lots of things, and that time it will make more sense what exactly object oriented programming language is. For now, just understand what it is, why it is like that, and more better understanding of that, the practical aspect of that, you will understand when we will go there. Okay, procedural basically means that we basically inside this language we use functions. Okay, now you might be having questions, what is functions and all. We will be diving into functions in one of the most easier manner. Okay, so that will come afterwards, but right now just understand it is like this. We'll see how to do it, what it is, why it is afterwards. Okay, so procedural programming language basically means that it uses functions in programming. Okay, so it basically uses functions while writing the program. It uses basically functions, and this one it basically using objects and classes while writing the program. So you will write the program using objects and classes. What is object, what is class, we'll see it afterwards. And what in this language we will not use objects and classes, we will use only functions. Okay, only functions will use inside procedural programming. That is the way that language works. So object oriented programming languages, C is an example here. Object oriented programming languages, there are lots of other languages like Java we have, like Python we have. These are examples for like this all high level languages like Java, Python, C#, Dart, Swift, all those kind of stuff which are available, most popular ones. C++ is also an object oriented programming language. C++ is also an object oriented programming language. Okay, and the procedural programming language is basically the one which basically uses only functions. Okay, what is the point to remember here? That we have this high level programming languages. High level programming languages can be further classified into object oriented programming languages and procedural programming languages. So see, you might be having one question now. If I go to previous slide, then you might ask, Arey Gautam, you told me that C++ is a mid-level programming language, then how you are telling it inside here? Okay, so some question might be there, but C++, see, it has evolved like that. Okay, C++ is way faster, way faster, and C obviously is way much more faster. If you try to purely see, then C is actually a purely mid-level programming language, but C++ के अंदर बहुत सारे concepts have been added. Like there are lots of concepts of OOPS that have been added. There are lots of libraries that have come into picture now. Memory management, lots of improvisation is being done for also for handling multiple multi-threading works and all. Lots of what are these all words might be sounding little bit jargons, but that's completely okay. We don't have understanding of that right now, so that's completely fine. But C++ has some concepts which has involved, which are like OOPS concept and all. So I'm classifying it into high level language. That's it. Okay, nothing else. So I am basically telling that C++ is actually a object oriented programming language. Okay, what point to remember right now for you is that high level programming language classified into two other parts, object oriented and procedural. Object oriented basically means that we'll be using classes and objects inside this. To write a program, we'll be using classes and objects. What is class and objects, we'll see afterwards. In procedural programming language, we will be basically using only functions, will not be using classes and objects. That's it. Does that sound simple? About whole general overview of how languages have come into picture, which are the different types of languages and all. Is that simple? Anyone who has not understood, we can just have some discussion. Any doubts? Because I want it to be interactive. I want you to ask questions which I may be not knowing, so that even I will learn something out of it. Even I will go and search and I'll try to learn something out of it. So don't feel bad that how should I ask a question if he doesn't know, then what he might say, or maybe like how should I ask a question, how in front of all these people. So yesterday we itself became friends, right? We all are friends, not only you and me, but we all have become friends yesterday, right? We have introduced each other and we have become friends, and I think you'll never feel ashamed, little bit what you call insecurity will not be there in asking questions in front of your friends, right? So be open, be general. It can be one of the silliest question which even you might be laughing. Okay, such question is also fine, but I feel that better ask questions so that you get to learn more, and even with the help of one question the concepts becomes more better. Okay, I will come back to that, Yasin, what is interpreter and compiler. So we have not reached there, but just I think the language, you understood the whole concept of how languages are basically being classified. If that being said, then that takes us to basically the next point, that is we have understood actually that there is a person who sits in between, which is called as compiler or interpreter. Now we will actually try to see who is this person. Okay, who is this person and how do you understand it? What is compiler, what is interpreter, as well as there is one more person which is called as assembler. Assembler I have already told you all. So the next point would be answering this one very important question, that one is who is this compiler, who is this interpreter, I hope you have understood till now whatever I have told. Okay, and who is basically this assembler? Okay, so you already know assembler, right? Assembler is basically a program. Again, it is a person. When I say person, it's actually a program which is written by someone else. Okay, so it is actually a program or a software that basically converts assembly language. What it will do is it will convert assembly language. Assembly is an intermediate language. Okay, so it is also a type of language where it is not actually a high level language. Okay, because you will not find more English words there. You will find English words, but I'll show you. English words mixed, a combination of numbers will be there inside it. Okay, a sample code for assembly language also. Sample code for assembly language. So you will just see that it's a mixture of both things. Like you will find some binary also is there and some English words are also there. Okay, so see here, such things you will see. Okay, move R0 A sub A. Okay, this is all. There are some instructions that are these are all some instructions which are being performed. Okay, so you will see something like this. See here, little bit you are not understanding, right? Some you are seeing it as a mixture of even words, and you are seeing it as a mixture of even numbers. So it's a combo of this. So obviously assembly is going to be compiled much more faster. Assembly can be translated in much more faster way to binary language, right? Because it is almost close to binary. Not exactly binary, but it is almost 50% almost converted. 50% binary is there already inside it. So we say that assembly language will be obviously performing way faster than even C language. Because C is a mid-level language. After mid-level language, you can consider that there is an assembly language that is there in between, and after that you have low-level language. So we have high-level language, you have mid-level language, then we have assembly language also in between, and then you can consider that we have the low-level language. So assembly language will be obviously way faster than the C language, okay, and C language will be obviously way faster than the high-level languages. The translation, what will happen, right? That will be way faster. Okay, so I think that is being said. So you know who is an assembler by now. Okay, so one who converts the assembly language into the binary language is basically called as an assembler. Okay, so compiler is a person who converts a mid-level language into a binary language. Okay, so you can say mid level or high level also. Okay, mid or high level, whatever you want to call. Interpreter also does the same thing. Okay, interpreter is basically a person who converts a mid level language or a high level language to basically a binary language. Now you might be asking, Arey, Abhi, now this sounds little bit confusing. What is the difference between these two then? And why do we have compiler and interpreter? Why do we have basically two different things? Because they are doing the same work. They are converting mid level into binary into binary back to mid level and high level. What's the difference between these two, and why do we need two people? The difference is basically the speed. Okay, compilers are way faster than interpreters. Okay, so compiled languages, when I say compiled languages, those languages will perform way faster than the languages which are interpreted languages. Okay, so I use two words here, one is compiled languages and interpreted languages. So compiled languages basically means the languages that uses compilers, languages that uses compilers for translation, that uses compilers for translating. Okay, for translation, if they use compilers, then it is called as compiled language. Then if it is an interpreter, what is an interpreted language? Interpreted language, a language basically that uses interpreter for translation, language that uses interpreter, P-R-E-T-E-R, I am sorry for a mistake of spelling, interpreter for translation, for translating, is basically called as interpreted language. Okay, compiler will basically is a person who again both do the same work, both do the conversion work itself. but the languages which are compiled by compiler is called as compiled language. The languages which is converted by translated by interpreter is called as interpreted language. Now the difference between them is that compiled languages are way faster than interpreted languages. Speed here is little bit slower. I don't mean to say that it will work very slow, that's not the point. They have its own advantages. Okay, so the biggest difference between compiler and interpreter is that compiler compiles one line at a time. Okay, so biggest difference between compiler, because we are discussing, we saw, right, compiler and interpreter are doing the same task, that is the conversion task. Your question should be, why we have two people? Then we should have only one person, right? So we have two people because the way they compile or the way they translate is different, is basically in different way, compiler and interpreter. Okay, the way they convert is basically completely differently. Okay, the way compiler does it is basically does whole program at once. Whole program, whatever you write, right? If you write 1000 lines of program, 1000 lines of program will be basically compiled or converted or translated at once. Okay, whole program translated at once. But here if you see, I hope you are able to hear me properly. There is no issue with mic, right? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Fine. You are understanding what I am trying to tell you? Or जा रहा है bouncer?
Understanding.
Okay, fine. It's 7. Okay, we'll wind up. Okay, but whole program is translated at once in compiler. Here actually whole program is basically translated line by line. Now you might be asking few questions. You told me this definition, I understood this definition, I can remember it also, but I want to practically understand this exactly what does it mean. Okay, so I hope you are getting my point, right? Even I like to do basically this kind of work itself. This is good to understand, right? Compiler translates at once, interpreter does it line by line. I got it. If someone asks me also, I can tell it, but practically do I really understand exactly what is happening, exactly how does it going on? Okay, so that also we'll see, nothing to worry, we'll also see that also, how exactly these two people are doing it in different way. Now my question is, compiler will do it one line at a time, compiler will do whole program at a time and interpreter will do one line at a time. Okay, I hope I told it correct. So my next question is that, who might be doing it faster? I have already told the answer, Liv. So who might be doing it faster?
Compiler.
I itself told already faster. Okay. So fine. Okay, we'll also see why is it actually doing it faster. Okay, so why actually compiler, I am saying that compiler is doing it faster. Okay, this will contradict now. When I'll run and show a program for you now. Okay, so C is an example for compiled language. Okay, C++ is an example for again compiled language. Okay, Python is an example for interpreted language. So you understood one more dhakka bad guy, like that means Python is slower than C++. Yes, it is slower than C++, but it has its own advantages which C and C++ doesn't have. Okay, see, everything what we have created, what we have invented, even we are coming with its own advantages and disadvantages, right? You cannot expect me to be perfect, neither I can expect you all to be perfect, right? Everyone, whoever is there in this world, everyone has some own disadvantages. Maybe they are not good at this, they are good at this, they are not good at this, they are good at this. So everyone has its own advantages, own strengths, own weaknesses, right? Similarly, everything what we have created in this world also has its own advantages. So same thing goes here also. Compilers and interpreters also. Assemblers we are not going to discuss because we know just that it will do translation. It is way faster than even compilers and interpreters. Obviously, it is faster than compilers and interpreters. Why it is faster than compilers and interpreters? Because it is common sense, right? 50% already it is like machine code itself. It is consisting of all those numbers and all, little difficult for us to write, but it is way faster. It is actually used in core hardware devices and all. Okay, so that time you will be using it because you need way faster speed and all there. So till now what we understood is an example for interpreted language is Python, an example for compiled language is C, C++. Did you get this point?
Yes.
Now we'll see, I'll run and show you the program. Okay, so I'll create a file in front of you and I'll run and show you a C program. And because I have already, we'll come back to that, but we'll run and see some programs. Okay, so let me do one thing. How I am running the program, what are the steps involved? Not interested right now in learning because I have not taught you all, so you should not be worried about that. I am just showing you a demo here right now, something. Okay, you just see that. Don't worry about what program he is writing. He has not thought that kind of program and all. I have not thought it, and then why are you worried about that, right? So just see what I'm doing. We are just testing it, how it works. Okay, how to run a compiled language and how to run a interpreted language. So I'll create a Python program. Okay, so what is this? Not important right now. Just see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'll write a Python. I'll tell you different ways of running a Python program also afterwards. But right now I just want to create a Python program. So I'll just by the way, I am using Ubuntu. Maybe your UI might look different. I am using Linux distro. You might be using Windows. Okay, so nothing to worry. Almost will be same. Gedit. Let me create one file. Something like test.py. Why I wrote this name itself? Why I wrote .py there? What is that? We'll discuss afterwards. So I'll just write some program. What is this program? You don't have to worry. Hello world. Okay, hello world, perfect. So let me run this program. I should type Python. How do you run a Python program? You should write first of all Python word, then you should write the file name, that is test.py, which I created. I want to run this file. So which interpreter I want to use to run the file? Python interpreter, that is what you're saying. Okay, so Python file name.py, that's it, and you got the output, hello world. So you told computer to tell something, you told computer to tell me hello world, and computer told you hello world. Very simple. So you got the output, right? The way you run, it's something like this. I hope you saw how much faster it ran. Let me do the same thing for C also. Gedit, maybe test.c. C program, we use the .c extension last. What is that? I'll tell you afterwards. Okay, so here there are lots of big program which you should write. You don't worry what I'm writing, not important. Void main. So we do it like this in C to do the same program. Okay, we wrote it in one line in Python, right? So in C to write the same thing, we will have to write all those kind of stuff. Same thing I'll write, hello world. Okay, so hello, come on. Hello world, perfect. So this much program we have to write in C to print hello world, to tell computer to print me hello world, and even in Python we actually wrote only in one line. Okay, so that's one of the advantage of Python, because the syntax becomes way shorter. It becomes so much shorter that you don't have to spend too much time in writing all those big lines. Okay, now how to run the C file, just see here. Okay, I'll type GCC. What is this? GCC is actually the compiler's name. So when we are running the Python file, right, we type Python file name.py. Now I am typing GCC is the compiler name. Which file I want to run? Test.c. Perfect. Something happened. We did not get output, but something happened, but we did not get output. You know why? Because it is actually a compiled language. It will never give you output. When you run the command, it will actually compile the language. That means it will convert the whole C program what you wrote into binary program first of all. And now you have to execute that binary program, or you have to run that binary program, and then only you will get the output. So there are two steps in running. When you want to execute a program in a compiled language, you will have to follow two steps. First one, compile the program. What is the meaning of compile the program? Compile the program means basically check for any errors and all. If any errors are there, it will display here. Allocate the memory and all those kind of just debugging, just checking all the errors and all are there or not. Your program is okay or not. Okay. So once your program is okay, then when you compile the program, right, you will, if your program is okay, you will get a binary file of that program. So are you serious? Are you kidding me? That means a binary file is created right now here. Yes, it is created. I'll show you. Okay. So I was in which folder here? I think in vfix front end. So I executed somewhere it in wrong folder, I feel. So let me just do one thing.
Hello,
Hello?
Gautam.
Yeah.
Go to that terminal.
You want me to
Type-
type ls here?
Type that above command only.
gcc
dot
test.c. Yes.
हाँ अब रुको भाई वो सिर्फ ये करो, एग्जीक्यूट मत करो, सिर्फ टाइप करो.
gcc test.c. हाँ.
हाँ अभी स्पेस दो,
हम्म
हाइफन
हम्म
ओ,
हम्म
अब गौतम लिखो, उसके आगे कुछ भी नाम लिख के छोड़ो.
हम्म.
एग्जीक्यूट. नाउ एलएस करो,
तो-
उसे परमिशन दो, एग्जीक्यूटेबल की परमिशन दो और वो वही तुम्हारा
what you want me to do is throw the output in this file. What?
Yes, it is a compiled. Execute it. It is only compiled code.
No. What he is telling is actually completely right. Okay, this is the way you can change the file output name. Okay, I'll come back to this point. What I want you to show is when you run this command gcc test.c, what happens is actually there's a binary file that gets created. Okay, and by default the binary file name will be actually a.out. In Linux, if you are using Windows, then you will get it as a.exe. This is the file which gets generated. Now I'll just show you, open and show you this file. Okay, so what commands I'm typing, ls and all, it's not important for you right now because I have not thought, and this is a Linux command, that's not important. Okay, if I just type ls a.out, sorry, if I just type cat a.out, see here. Okay, it is something is there inside this which I am not understanding. Okay, so what I am trying to tell you is that in a compiled language, when you run a program with whatever command is there, you actually don't get the output first. You actually get a compiled version of it, or you actually get a binary file of it, and then you will have to run the binary file to get the output. Okay, and this is the binary file which actually came. Okay, so what I did, just see again one time what I basically did. We created a C file, right? So how to actually compile the file, check for errors and convert it into binary is gcc. This is the command, this is the compiler name. Then I'll type the file name, which is test.c. That's it. Hit enter. Now it got compiled. It got compiled means what? Actually a binary file has got generated here now. Okay. And if you want to change the name of that binary file, right, from a.out, by default it is actually a.out. If you want to change it from a.out to something else, then what he told is right. You should type -o, that means minus output. This is an extra argument which you pass. Minus output, then you write whatever file name you want to give. Okay, so that it will give the file name. That's not important right now. What I want you to understand is that when I compile a program, you actually get a binary file. You actually get a binary file, and the binary file which actually got created in my folder was a.out file. That is the by default file which it will get created. If you want to change the name of that file, a.out to maybe gautam.out, then you can write gcc, you can write like this, gcc test.c, and I can write gautam.c. Now gautam.out, now it will be converted basically to Gautam, it will be converted into, the name will be changed from a.out to Gautam. Okay, but what's important for you to understand that is basically that a binary file gets generated in between. And we also saw open that file and saw, right, if I just type cat is basically use a command to open the file or to see the contents of that file, what is there inside that file, right, that you will be able to see with the help of this command. In Ubuntu, you don't have to worry about all this kind of stuff. Just see a.out what is there, and you will see whole lot of nonsense stuff is there which I am not understanding. Okay, this file what is there right now, a.out, I will have to run it. The way you run it is by typing /a.out. We are not doing a C class, so I am not going into more depth. And now you see your hello world. Now you got this hello world. So what my whole point is that, what I want to tell you is, compiled language will do the execution in 2 steps. First, when you basically type the command gcc something, some file name, it will actually do the compilation process. It will compile the program, that means check for all those errors and all, and convert it into a binary file, executable file. Binary file is also called as executable file. Okay, it will convert it into binary executable file. this binary executable file what is there, right? This you will have to execute by using // command on Ubuntu, and on Windows there is another way to do it, but here on Ubuntu you will be basically doing it with // command, and when you do that, then you get the output of a C program or a compiled language program. Same steps will go for C++ also, but when you actually see for a interpreted lang, you saw something different here. Just see the difference what is happening between a compiled language and a interpreted language. Just clear the screen, and we had created the file, right? I'll just run the file, python file name.py, and the file name is test.py, run, and you will get the output. This is the beauty of interpreted language, that it happens in one step. Okay, so actually behind the scene lots of things are happening, but the output what you're getting is basically run the command. For Python it is Python, for other languages it will be other language. Okay, see, we are taking an example for C language, here we are taking an example for Python language. Commands will be different for other languages. We will discuss what are the commands and all. So Python, then you type the file name, and that's it, you will basically get the output. Now my question is, which is faster? Now tell me, which is faster? Python is faster or C is faster? Common sense, huh? Common sense you use and tell me, which is faster? Seriously. Silence. Either you did not understand it, that time it comes, or maybe something else. Okay, so I hope I am audible properly, because if everyone is silent, right, I sometimes get doubt that first of all my mic is working properly or not. Okay, so tell me one thing now. First of all, you understood what is a compiled language, what is an interpreted language, what is a compiler, what is an interpreter, what is an assembler. And compiler converts the, or you will get the output of the program in compiled language in two steps. First it will be compiled into binary, and then you will have to execute the binary or run the binary file, and then you will get the output. In interpreted language you directly type one command and you will get the output. You understood all this stuff, Mahabharata, whatever I told right now. Others, only Snail Kadolkar is speaking and Yasin is speaking. Others are all. If you have any doubts, regarding this? Any doubts are there regarding this? Because I am going to ask you one question now. Python.
Does Python create compiled file?
No. It will be actually converted into bytecode, but it will not. You don't have to run anything at all. It will automatically do it for you. Lakshmi, you are late today.
Yes, bro.
How come so much late? We are almost about to end up. Silence, huh? So I am asking you one question now. I showed you, executed and show you, right? Python program, C program. C is an interpreted, C is a compiled language, Python is an interpreted language. Now I am asking you one question, that which was faster? Out of those two, is my voice audible?
Yes.
Perfect. So some people are saying Python is faster. This is what I wanted, because I told you, right? You will counter. I mean, you will be ulta direction. You will start thinking. Okay, Yasin is saying C is faster. Okay, we'll come back to why it is faster, because I already told you, right? C is faster than Python. I have already told you, because it's a mid-level programming language. Okay, but the problem is that You told me, you might be asking few questions now. What I showed you, right? Based upon that, you might be feeling Python is faster, and even I did feel so like that itself. Python is faster. How come C becomes faster? Because it is doing it in two steps. It will do it first there, it will do it after there. You will have to execute it. It will take a lot of time. Yes, it will take a lot of time if you basically, but when you judge it faster, right? We are judging the faster based upon the wrong sense. So we are feeling that Python is faster. Actually, C itself is faster, because I already told you that C is a compile language and compile languages are way faster. Okay, so what actually they are judging is not the time. Okay, not the time from running this command till getting the output. This is not what they are checking. Okay, what they're actually checking is only this one. This one, whatever binary file has got converted, how much time it took to execute that file. That's it. Because it is already binary, it is already converted form. Obviously, it is going to run faster to give the output. But Python is not going to have an intermediary itself. Python, every time what it has to do, every time it has to basically see, again Python will obviously convert it into a bytecode in between, but you will not be able to you don't have to execute it and all, you don't have to run it and all. Okay, so Python will basically do Python will again undergo basically this process. It has to undergo this process. Okay, so but it will do it on its own. Okay, you don't have to manually execute it. You don't have to manually execute this file and you will get the output. Okay, so Python will do this whole step every time. But in C language, if you compile in and keep it, if you have a binary file right now with you, that means obviously just think of this now. Now if I ask you one question, will Python take more time to execute a program, or a compiled C language, compiled C file, what we got, that is a.out. The a.out file which we got, right? If you just run that, how do you run that? /a.out you type, right? And it will run. So will that take more time or Python take more time? Just think of this. Obviously, the a.out is going to take less time. You know why?
Python more time.
Sorry?
They are telling Python.
Snail, you said something? Python will take more time. Yes, obviously Python will take more time, right? Because see, in behind the scene itself, Python has to do the same process, okay? But it is basically interpreted language. That's why it is basically, you don't have to do it manually. It is doing it automatically on its own. So every time you run the Python command, right? So what it is going to do, it is going to take your code, convert it to some bytecode in between, and then it is going to give you the output, right? So, but in C language, I am not talking about the whole process now. I am talking only about what they are measuring is basically only the compiled file what you have, right? If you run that file, how much time it takes. That's it. So in this one, in C language, you have the a.out file, right? That is the binary file, and you are directly running that binary file. Obviously, it is going to run much more faster way. Here, Python is basically written in, first of all, high level language that has to slowly get converted into those language, and then it has to basically come up to give the output, right? But here, since the C file is already compiled, already we have executed the C file, and we have a binary code, that is the a.out. Some binary program is already there. We are running that binary file, and that's how it should run very much faster, right? That is how C programs should be running way faster, always faster than Python. Okay, I hope that made the concept much more clear, and you understood why maybe Python is little bit slower than C. Okay, but there are wide advantages of Python. Don't worry, this bootcamp is about Python, so I will do tarif of Python also. Okay, not only of C. So we'll speak of Python also. Python, you can do so much with Python now that you cannot do with C, man. Like, you just ask what you want to do with Python. You want to do app development, you want to do website development, you want to build APIs, you want to do machine learning, you want to go into blockchain. मतलब क्या करना है? You want to go into data science, you want to go into hacking, cyber security, you want to basically do some testing work. मतलब what, you just tell me what you want to do. Everything, one solution is there, Python, and you can do it with Python. Such wide thing is not there for all languages. So for last few years, Python has been one of the top languages that is there. Okay, one of the top 5 languages always being, and along with that, if again one language which is very important is JavaScript. मतलब JavaScript से बहुत कुछ हो सकता है. You can do front end development, you can do back end development, you can build APIs, you can build blockchain networks, you can basically use it, I think, for you can use it for machine learning also. There is TensorFlow for JavaScript also. So मतलब JavaScript से भी बहुत कुछ हो सकता है, लेकिन Python for scientific computing it is used, for mathematical computations it is used. Python is like everywhere. Okay, so I hope I made too much tarif of Python, but it deserves it. Okay, because it lost the race in speed, right, with C language. So C won the race in speed. So thoda kuch to Python ke side bhi will put some weight, right? So this is all things which you can do with Python also. Okay, I hope you got to know what we discussed. Is a quick recap I'll give you. Discuss about what is the language actually, what is the programming language, and the person who does this programming, right, who writes some code, he is called as a programmer, coder, software developer, whatever you want to call it. Okay, just he is the person who is called as a programmer, coder, software developer, whatever you want to call, that person is that. Okay, what to understand right now for you is that what is the language, what is the programming language, who is the person who programs, what is he called as, a programmer or a coder, whatever you want to call. Then there are different types of languages that are available. There is high level language, there is mid level languages like C, which is compiled languages again. Okay, then there is low level languages also, and there is also assembly language in between the mid and the low level language. So assembly languages are always way faster than mid level languages. Binary languages are way obviously faster because computer will directly understand it, and there is no need of translation if you are writing it in binary. Then high level languages will perform little bit slower when you compare it. Again, you will not notice it also, the speed, okay, but it will perform little bit slower. C is especially used for hardware purposes, like if you are working on some hardware related solutions for designing drivers for OS, because when you talk about OS, right, when you talk about creating your own operating systems and all, creating your own drivers, that time you need speed. Think of your operating system if it starts lagging. So how worse it could be, right? So that time you need very good speed, so you will be using C there, you will be using C++ for designing OS and all, system compilers, compiler designs and all. There must be someone who design compilers also, right? Because compiler is what? It's a program again. So someone must have written that program also. Which languages is used to create compilers itself? C and all is used. Okay, C language is used, C++ is used for compilers and all. Then it is used for drivers, it is used for all the OS level stuff and all those kind of stuff. So because it is way faster, it is used that places. Even in self-driving cars, they are preferring people who are basically good at C and all. So you can do all those with Python also, but speed is what differs. Okay, then there are high level languages which are little bit slower. Then we discussed all those kind of languages, we discussed with examples of all those languages, high level languages and all those kind of stuff. Then we also saw one more language. The high level languages can be again classified into two other categories. One is object oriented language and one is procedural language. More about these two languages afterwards, but object oriented, basically you have to understand that it uses classes and objects to write the program, and procedural, it basically uses functions to write the program. That's how simple it is. Then we studied about interpreter, compiler and assembler. Who is actually an assembler? Actually it is a program, it's not a person somewhere. Okay, it's a program written by someone which is created by using some other language. Okay, so even a compiler is a program which is created by using some other languages. Okay, so a C compiler must be created by using some other languages. Okay, so compiler we studied about assembler, we studied about interpreter. We saw that compiled languages are way faster than interpreted languages. We saw the examples for compiled languages like C, C++. We saw the examples for interpreted languages like Python, Java, not Java, sorry, JavaScript. Java is not interpreted, so it is JavaScript. Then we saw other examples like Dart, all those kind of lots of other. Dart is again a compiled language. Okay, it's way faster. Dart is compiled language, not interpreted. But best example is Python. Another example is JavaScript. These are two popular interpreted languages that are available. Then we saw about this speed. We saw that which performs way faster, which performs little bit slower. Why does it happen? So again, why is the speed comparison there? Because it is actually taking two steps. You will have to run the program, execute the commands 2 times, and the speed what is actually calculated is basically from the compilation. After the compiled file, whatever file is generated, right, from that till the executable file. Okay, that is what is seen. But Python, every time it will do the whole process again and again. You run a Python file, it will actually, you will not feel it, you will feel actually you got the output like within seconds, right? Actually it did not get the output within seconds, it did the whole step again one time. Okay, here it actually did it in 2 steps, but out of that first step, no, how much also time it takes doesn't matter. It will not make sense itself. What is important is if you have a file, run that file, how much time it basically took to get the output, final output, right? So if we have a binary file, it is giving you a binary file itself, compiled file. So if you run that compiled file, obviously if it is giving it in much faster, then that will be much more faster, right? So that is the advantage what we get in these two languages, compiled languages and we have this interpreted languages. I hope you understood. Tomorrow I have already told one very important difference between these two, that is they execute program whole program at a time, compiled languages, and interpreted languages they execute program line by line. So I'll give a demo tomorrow of this. We'll install Python. From tomorrow we will be starting with because we have understood all the fundamentals, basics of any languages and all. Now we can obviously deep dive into Python, right? Understanding, we'll download Python and we'll try to install it. So now I have one question. Okay, I hope first of all if you are clear with all these things, just tell me if you're clear or not with all these things. And if you have any doubts, just I'll give you a few minutes, we can just have some interactions, talks about whatever doubts you have. Sillies are also welcomed, like whatever silly doubt it is, that is also welcomed. सुमसाम बैठने से अच्छा है कुछ तो पूछ लो. Snail says she is cleared with the concepts. Others, what about you all guys? Aditya, Ashwini, Gunjan, Lakshmi. Lakshmi, this lecture will be available, you can just go and watch today. Gunjan doesn't have any doubts. Snail spoke. Lakshmi, this lecture will be available, okay, so you can go and watch. Ashwini doesn't have any doubts. Aditya. Sejal, you have any doubts? She left. Prakash, it's clear. Perfect. So if no doubts, I have one question. You want to run a Python program. Now we have understood that Python is an interpreted language, not a compiled language. Okay, so we know that Python is an interpreted language, and we know the difference between interpreted language, compiled language, how the execution happens in case of compiled language, how the execution happens in case of interpreted language also. We clearly know this, right? How to execute a compiled language, how to execute a interpreted language. My question is, you all want to run now a Python program on your computer. Okay, so now if you create a file like let's say test.py on your computer and you run it with the help of the command Python, will it run or no on your computer right now?
No, because we don't have the software right now.
Don't have the software. What do you actually mean by that word? Don't have the software. Which kind of software you need actually to run the Python files then? I appreciate
Python software.
Python software. Let's be more. Let's try to understand it more. Why do we actually need Python software? Why do we need Python software? Without Python software, why can't you run? Think. Actually, what you need. In which language you will be writing the program? Tell me. Which language you will be writing the program? If you want to run a which language you will be writing the program? Come on, which language you will be writing?
To run Python.
In Python, because we are learning Python, obviously we will be writing in Python, right? Snail, you are saying something? Good to see Snail is so much. Your voice is breaking, Snail. Hello? Ashwini, you are there? Ashwini? Yeah, Snail, I completely understand network issue. Ashwini, you are there? Others sub silent. Huh? I just appreciate Snail that she's at least speaking. And others all blank. Huh? Neha? You are listening to me or you're doing your own works? Yesterday, I think I took a separate class for this purpose itself. This should not happen so. Like, see here, it's okay, man. If you don't know the answer, also it's okay. We can. I'm not going to blame you. I'm not going to shout you, right? So you can just unmute and speak at least, right? It's okay if you don't know. Can anyone tell me? She told is what is right. Okay, I am going to write my programs in Python language, which is actually a high level language, which is in like somewhat like English language. Okay, now if I want to run my program, okay, on my computer, what do I actually need on my computer? That is my question.
Python extension.
Python extension. So what is actually an extension, you know? Like just see don't feel as if when I'm asking a question, right, I'm targeting you. Arey, matlab, we are just trying to I'm just trying to make your knowledge a little bit more better. Okay, so because we will dive deep because even I am even I am not a pro player. Okay, so even I am learning and everyone are learning, so we can ask some good questions again so that even you will learn, even I learn. Snail says we need interpreter to run Python. Aditya says we need Python extension. Okay, actually what is an extension? You know, extension is basically a small program that is written by someone else, which you can install it in your VS Code, which will help you to write your program faster. That's it. It will give you some suggestions. That's it. Extension is not a translator. Extension will just suggest you to write some code. Maybe you write capital A and it will give you a whole what front line should come, right? That all things it will give you. It is just a help which extension will provide. Shortcuts it will provide. Maybe if you write RFCE, it will give you some like this much line of code. Okay, such shortcuts is extension. But what Snail told, no, that is completely right. We need an interpreter. So actually what you will be downloading tomorrow is actually an interpreter. Don't say that it is some Python software you will be downloading. Actually, come let's talk technically, right? For those people who don't know, obviously they will be saying we'll be downloading Python software. Yes, that is also right. I'm not saying no. But what I'm trying to tell you is, to be more technically, we should be saying let's download Python interpreter. Because we know the fundamental concept now. We know that Python is an interpreted language, and if it is an interpreted language, obviously we need to have an interpreter who is going to translate our Python code into machine code and back machine code to Python code, right? We need this guy in between. And if it was a compiled language, we could have downloaded a compiler. If it is an interpreted language, we'll download an interpreter. So from tomorrow, we'll see how do we actually download a Python interpreter. Okay, but more, I hope you got to know the more better concepts of it, that when they download Python, they are actually saying that they are actually not downloading Python. They are actually downloading Python interpreter. Very simple. Okay, so I hope that made your concept little bit more stronger. You understood the fundamental concepts, how things works and all, what are these basic concepts, how those goes over and all those kind of stuff and all. From tomorrow onwards, deep dive into Python interpreter, and we'll be writing some code using Python programming language. We'll be doing lots of fun. Okay, with Python, lots of fun with Python. I'll show you so many things which you can do with Python. So if that sounds cool, I hope to expect you all to come tomorrow. So you all will be joining me tomorrow? Snail says yes. I only am getting response from Snail more often. Aditya says yeah. Yes, you will be joining. Good to hear. Ashwini, Lakshmi, you all are not interested or you got bored. Lakshmi says yes, and Prakash also says yes. So great, good to see that. Tomorrow let's meet and we'll be having more fun. We'll be learning more better concepts. We'll try to dive into more better things, and tomorrow we'll start our journey with Python. So I hope today's class was all basic fundamentals clear, how they run, what are the languages that are available, all those kind of stuff. Tomorrow onwards we'll be using the technical word interpreter, because we are dealing with Python. If it could be a C language, you would actually say we need to download a C compiler. You will not say we need to download C software. There is no such C software. Actually what they are telling is, they are telling you to download C compiler, because it's a compiled language. If it's an interpreted language, now you might be asking, how should I understand whether it's a compiled language or interpreted language? Go and search online whether C is a compiled language or interpreted language. Then based upon that you can download. Okay, so that's how it comes. You come to know. Okay, so I think that's it. So we will end this meet. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.